everyone. My name is Tara. I'm a professional singer based in New York City, as well as a vocal coach. Hello, how are you? Welcome. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Is it Joy? If you don't mind letting me know in the comments, I'd be appreciative. Thanks for hanging out. Welcome to Ear Training Tuesday. Today we're going to learn and work on hearing minor triads. If you were here for Ear Training Tuesday last week, we worked on major triads. We will be building off of that knowledge today with minor triads. But don't worry, you'll be able to keep up if you did miss that. No big deal. And if you were here for Music Theory Monday yesterday, we learned how to build minor triads using a formula. If you missed yesterday's session and you want to have a better understanding of the music theory behind the ear training we're going to do today, you can go to my YouTube, which if you're joining me on TikTok, my YouTube handle is the same as my TikTok handle at Resident Harmony Nerd. And you can watch the Music Theory Monday live from yesterday on my YouTube channel, so you never have to miss out. But you will be able to participate today, even if you weren't present yesterday for Music Theory Monday. And if you have any questions or if anything that I say doesn't make sense, please feel free to drop that in the chat. This is one of my weekly offerings to you all. I've realized that music education is very gate-kept, and I am on a mission to change that. So without further ado, let us start our ear training, okay? So when we are ear training, what even is ear training, right? Ear training is developing what we call a sense of relative pitch, okay? What is relative pitch? You've probably heard of perfect pitch, right? Where somebody can just sing a note out of nowhere and it's the right pitch, right? Well, when we're ear training, what we're doing is we're working to develop and to memorize the musical interval. And what the musical interval is the relationship between two pitches, okay? The relationship between this pitch and this pitch is a musical interval. And the relationship between this pitch and this pitch is an interval. The relationship between these two pitches is a musical interval. And so when we're learning how to ear train, what we're doing is we are attempting to memorize the space between two notes, what that sounds like, and we're internalizing that. That way we can create the same interval anywhere on any note of any of the 12 notes in any of the octaves in the Western music scale. So the relationship, for example, from this pitch to this pitch is called a perfect fifth. The relationship from this pitch to this pitch is a major third, okay? And the point is that it doesn't matter where we start on the keyboard. We want to memorize the relationship. How do we memorize the relationship? Colin said, I love the way you explained that. Thank you, Colin. I appreciate that. I'm glad that it was digestible. I think that a big barrier for music theory is that a lot of people feel like it's really hard to understand, and it's not. I think that it's just been kind of put behind this facade of elitism for so long because there's so much language involved in music theory. And if you don't know the words, it's so easy to get lost in the sauce. But just like learning anything else, it's just about developing vocabulary, right? So if I say anything, if I use a term or language that you don't understand, please just drop it in the chat. Like, I cannot express that there is no shame in being a beginner. If you don't understand what the word pitch means, that's okay. I can explain it, and I think that any teacher who is not willing to take a step back and explain something isn't confident in their teaching process. So all of this just to say, if you have any questions, there's no shame in being a beginner. You will never experience any shade from me for asking a question, no matter how basic it seems, okay? So what we're trying to do is to memorize the space between two pitches, and then we have to correlate the space between two pitches to their musical interval, right? So we start to learn, okay, a perfect fifth sounds like this. Okay, a major third sounds like this. Okay, a minor sixth sounds like this. Well, how the heck do we internalize that, right? It sounds pretty like esoteric. Like, how do you memorize the space between two pitches? But it's a lot easier than it sounds. What you do is you find a song that you already know, a popular song, as an example to memorize what the interval sounds like. And then, so that's step one. Step two, this is the tricky part. I think this is the part where people get discouraged, and this is what we're going to work on today together. Okay. Part two is being able to then move that song, that example, anywhere on the keyboard. I'll show you what this means in a second. If you're confused, stick with me. It'll all make sense in a minute. Okay. And then you just keep repeating the process, right? You find a musical interval that you want to learn, you find an example song to memorize it, and then you just practice it, okay? And the practice looks like this. So the first interval I teach everyone, regardless of whether we're working on major triads, minor triads, or not triads at all, I always teach perfect fifths first. And the reason I teach people to hear perfect fifths first is because they tend to be the easiest for the human ear to grab onto and to attach, because they're everywhere. And it doesn't matter if you're in a major song or a minor song or in like Dorian mode or anything like that. Perfect fifths are everywhere in music. So a perfect fifth is the first two twinkles of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So this is the popular song that I use to memorize what a perfect fifth sounds like. The Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is the same as the A, B, C, D, E, F, G song, the alphabet song, okay? So thank you for the follow, K-Swan. I appreciate it. So when we're singing, I'm going to start here. Okay, maybe you have a lower voice and you want to start down the octave. Sing the first two pitches of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Twinkle, twinkle. Were you able to sing that with me at home? Let me know in the comments. If you were able to find the second pitch for the second twinkle, congratulations, you just sang a perfect fifth, okay? So you now know how to sing perfect fifths. You can internalize this musical interval and keep it in your back pocket. It's a good one to have. The tricky part is when we start to move it around, okay? Because what just happened is we sang Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star starting here on this note. Twinkle, twinkle. The hard part is now to move this around. So now we have to start to hear the same interval, this twinkle, twinkle, on different places in the keyboard. Okay, so what I like to do is kind of make some cacophony, some sound chaos, right? So that it distracts our brain to let go of the last pitches that we were just singing, okay? And now we're going to try to start somewhere totally different. Here's your new twinkle. So now what you have to do, and this is why this part is tricky, what you have to do at home is you have to reset your internal intonation. Hey, Raphael, how are you? Thanks for joining. And this is hard to do because we already sang it in a different place. So now we have to completely wipe that slate clean, starting from a blank slate, and we have to restart Twinkle Twinkle over from the beginning again. Now on this pitch. So if I sing twinkle, can you find the next twinkle? Go ahead and sing what you think it is at home, and I'm about to play the answer, okay? Here we go. Twinkle, twinkle. Are you singing this note? Let me know in the comments. Did you guys get that correct? How'd you do? Oh, she's got a stuffy nose this morning. Thanks for all the likes and for hanging out, everyone. I appreciate it. How did you do with the perfect fifths? Will you let me know in the comments? Were you able to get that one, or did it give you some trouble? Let me know if there's any way I can support you further. Jamie, thank you for the follow. Simon, thank you for the follow. Thanks for the likes, Kevin. Okay. Anybody at home get it? We're being a little shy in the comments today. That's okay. No worries. We'll move on. All right. So now I'm going to create some more sound chaos, some more cacophony. You also play piano. Love it. Very cool. Do you play by ear, Simon, or do you read music? So if you're playing by ear, you're using a lot of this ear training stuff. Okay. So now we're going to try somewhere new. Here's your new twinkle. Can you find the next twinkle? Go ahead, sing what you think the answer is at home. Here comes the answer. Twinkle, twinkle. How do we do? Were you able to find the perfect fifth? Luke got it. Celebrating with you. Congratulations. Kevin got it. Heck yeah. So congratulations, friends. This means that we are starting to internalize the interval of a perfect fifth. And if you can internalize this interval, it means you can internalize all the other intervals. Now, they do get harder as we go. So some intervals might need more practice than others, but this is a great, great start for ear training. How's that? Fabulous. Welcome. Nice to see you. Is it Lanese? Lanice? I apologize if I pronounced it incorrectly. All right. Simon, this isn't a live stream to play piano. This is a live stream for ear training. So what I'm doing is I'm teaching everybody how to hear the space between two different musical notes and to memorize those so that they can sing or play these musical intervals anywhere, anytime from any note. Okay? We're developing something here called relative pitch, because what we're memorizing is the relationship between two notes. And how we're memorizing that relationship between two notes is by using songs we already know to commit the interval to memory. Ellen, thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate it. Bleeding Fancy, thank you for the follow. You all are so wonderful. Okay? So if you are just joining me, we are working on perfect fifths right now. No worries. It's Lanice. I've been feeling that singing intervals in different octaves feels different. It is going to feel different, and that's a great observation. So when we're on different pitches, if we're in a higher part of our register or a lower part of our register, it's going to feel different in your vocal instrument. What we're trying to do is to memorize the way it sounds, the space between. The space between two notes is going to feel very different in your vocal instrument depending on where you are in the range. But that doesn't mean the space between the two notes itself has changed. Does that make sense? Fleeting Fancy says, thank you. What a service. Yay. Music theory has been gatekept for far too long. I'm here to knock down some walls. Let's go. Okay, that does make sense. Awesome. So for example, let's try one together, okay, for everybody at home. We're going to sing two perfect fifths, and we're going to sing the same perfect fifths, okay, but we're going to sing them octaves apart. So you can see that it's relatively the same interval, but it's going to feel very differently in your voice, okay? So if you have a low singing voice, you're going to sing down here. I don't have that pitch, okay? If you have a medium or higher singing voice, you're going to want to start with me around here, okay? And we're going to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star starting on this pitch. Ready? Here we go. Twinkle. Sing the next note. Twinkle. If you're singing here, you got it correct. Let me know if you got it correct in the comments. So if you got the second twinkle correct without me playing it, that means you have internalized how to sing a perfect fifth. Congratulations. It's really cool. So now we're going to jump up an octave. You did it. Heck yeah. Celebrating with you, Fleeting Fancy. Okay, so now if you have a low voice, I want you to start here where I started on the last time. And if you have a high voice, I want you to start up here with me. Okay, now we're going to sing Twinkle, Twinkle again. Remember, these are the same notes we just sang, but we're doing it higher. We're doing it up an octave because it's in a different part of your vocal range, okay? Here's your first twinkle. Sing with me. Twinkle. Go ahead and guess. Sing the next twinkle. Sing your guess. Here comes the answer. Twinkle. I'm not warmed up. It's a little high for me. No judging. Thank you. Okay. But are you singing this note? Or if you have a lower voice, you'll sing it down the octave. Okay. So we just sang the same interval in 2 different octaves, and it felt really different, right? So that is a really great observation, and something to keep in mind is that we can sing the same interval, we can hear the same interval, but it's going to feel very different in our vocal instrument depending on where it is in our range. Yes. Yeah. So it's all of this is Leah's saying, I didn't realize this is a skill people don't have. Singing, music theory, all of it, it's a motor skill. Some people needs to be developed more in than others. Just like, for example, like sports are a motor skill, right? I'm not very good at basketball. It doesn't mean I can't play. I can be taught. I can learn. Am I ever going to be as good as Michael Jordan? Probably not. But that doesn't mean I can't learn. Being able to match pitch is a motor skill. Most people can hear pitch because digital audio production is so precise and perfect these days. But a lot of people don't know how to